Moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Moment of silence. All righty, back to work we go. First one we have, I need to open the library service district, don't I? We will open the meeting for the library service district for the purposes of approving a resolution adopting budget and making appropriations, levying and categorizing taxes for 2026, 2027.
I move we approve and
We have a
sign.
Megan.
No, go right ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I move we approve and sign resolution 26-06-072B.
Aye.
Motion.
Not aye. Second.
There we are. Motion and a second. Discussion. Do you have any discussion, Madam Treasurer?
I think we've discussed the budget enough.
This is quite true. Any up here? Any in the public? All in favor?
Aye.
Right. Motion passes. And I get to close it this time, don't I?
Yeah.
Now closing the Library Service District meeting and opening the 4-H and Extension Service District meeting for the purpose of requesting an approval for resolution adopting the budget, making appropriations, levying, and categorizing taxes for 2026, 2027.
I'll let the treasurer do her presentation this time.
There is no presentation,
I
really.
move
Money.
to sign resolution number 26-06-073B.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. I feel like we've not talked about this enough. All righty. Discussion in the public. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Now closing the 4-H and Extension Service District meeting and reopening the Board of Commissioners meeting for the first one being request approval of resolution to adopt budget, make appropriations, levy categorizing taxes for 2026, 2027. And we're back to you again.
You pretty much said it all.
Mr. Chair, move to adopt the budget or move to approve and sign resolution 26-06-071B.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. And for the purpose of the public, there are multiple meetings on the budget open to the public. The advisory board for the budget is ourselves as commissioners and then 3 members of the public. So it does involve the public throughout that process. However, we do approve it as the commission, of course.
And Mr. Chair, I'd also mention that one of those lay members of the budget committee is not going to be, well, he's going to be sitting in a different seat on the budget committee because he'll be sitting in this seat.
Yep.
And so that means there will be a lay seat open. So I'd encourage anybody interested to apply for that.
Yep. It's good to have somebody with a lot of experience on the budget committee coming in. So if you're interested in running for commissioner later, I would recommend it. Discussion from the floor, discussion from the internet, and seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Next one. Request ratification of liaison approval of job description for outreach specialist and approve to post-fill position. Whose health?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Dr. Lynch.
This job description was last updated in 2018. This position has been vacated due to retirement. So we've had an opportunity to take a look at this position to align it with our current duties, and we would ask for your support.
I move that we ratify liaison approval for the outreach specialist job description under pay grade 416 and approve posting and filling the position.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion.
So you approved of this, huh?
Yep.
Good.
I have some experience in outreach.
Yeah.
Any from the floor discussion? Any online? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Your lengthy presentation, thank you.
Thanks, Dr.
Thanks,
Lynch.
Tim.
Next one, request approval of application to Business Oregon, authorized chair to sign. Morning, Paul.
Well,
Debbie.
Wrong one. You're
Did I
on
what?
first C.
Oh, I'm sorry, I crossed one out. Request approval of contract with Kyle Electric for Beaver Hill Pit Roof Lighting Project and authorize Paul Slater to sign. There we are.
Morning, Paul.
Morning.
Paul?
So we requested quotes from 4 electrical contractors to put up some lights in our under the new pit roof. We received 2 quotes back. Kyle Electric was the low quoter at $14,800 for the project, so we just request the board approve and authorize myself to sign the contract with Kyle Electric.
Mr. Chair, move to approve and authorize Roadmaster to sign a contract with Kyle Electric to install new lighting in our Beaver Hill pit roof in the amount not to exceed $14,800.
Second.
Motion and second, discussion. It'll be nice for safety purposes to have some lighting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And discussion from the public, discussion online. Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Now we're on to the approval of Business Oregon authorized chair to sign.
So with much help from Debbie Mueller from the Emergency Management Department, we were able to obtain funds from FEMA through OEM for this standby generator project at the Public Works facility, so that we can have some backup power when the power goes out to be able to still get fuel, run our radios, and still be able to do work in the office and have lights. So Business Oregon nicely agreed to cover the match for that, and I think this is somewhat of a formality to apply for this grant. They did give us a letter already saying that they would fund it. So we're just requesting the board to approve.
Sign the
Sign this.
application.
Yeah.
Okay, I move we authorize the chair to sign the Business Oregon application for Coos County Public Works generator.
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion.
How much is the grant for?
This one's 34,250, and then the FEMA money is the balance for a total of 143,850.
Does that cover the entire cost?
The entire project.
Very
Yeah.
good.
We haven't. It's out for quotes right now, so we haven't received quotes back, but we expect it to be that or lower.
Good, thank you.
Debbie, thank you for your work on that.
Yes.
And there's another one. Jail one today.
Well, the jail one, we have been awarded the $206,250. And then we will be applying to Biz Oregon, the same formality as this, although the sheriff can just sign it because he's an elected official, and we're not obligating the county, with this application. We're just asking for the money they said they'd already give us.
Well, great job on both of those projects. Thank you for all of that work.
You're welcome.
It was all Debbie.
Well, yeah, 2.5 years later for both these grants has been just my own personal nightmare.
A long haul.
Well,
I mean,
thank you.
because, I was talking to John, Commissioner Sweet, about, this is why small counties don't get these grants and stuff, because it's not like you're just filling out an application and getting them some information. It's, literally 2.5 years of answering questions. They keep coming up with, FEMA has different, well, what about this? What about that? And that they didn't ask in the beginning. So it's, I was elated on Friday when I got the letter.
Yeah. Good job.
I'll add that we're moving forward with an invitation to bid on the Public Works generator project because we have a little bit less turnaround time to spend those funds. The jail project, I think you said yesterday, we have up to 3 years to
Yeah.
get that done. So
Well, yeah, when we were looking at the Public Works generator and building out the time, it, really we only need about 6 months, but, as government moves slow, we haven't quite got there yet. And then we also, in terms of for Public Works, we're going to try again for a brick grant for the Chemetka in Allegheny landslide. But, you know, there again, we've been working on that since 2023.
We're gonna reluctantly apply again. We are gonna do it, but, yeah, don't hold your breath.
Yeah,
And we appreciate all the time you put in and all your spare time that you have to getting these things done.
you're welcome. Just on the landslide, though, just in case any of you hear, I did reach out to the community there and ask for some letters of support. And it wouldn't surprise me if some of them come to you instead of me. They won't be coming to Paul because they think it's his fault, so.
Oh. Wah, wah.
But I just want to, you know, please forward any that you have to me. That's one of the things that the state said could help us if we could show support. So you guys could send a letter too. Ooh, that's a good idea.
Okay. Any further? No. Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. Thanks, Paul.
And next one, approval of task order number 3 with AKS Engineering for South Coos River Lane improvements or road still.
So this, again, was our on-call engineering firm that we're working with. This third task order, we had a couple approved last board meeting. This one's for South Coos River Lane. We'll be looking at, they're gonna be developing 2 to 3 conceptual layouts for improvements to that section of road, so that we can then use that as kind of a starting point for having ongoing conversations with the family that we need to obtain right away from. So, yeah, just asking the board to approve this task order thing.
Mr. Chair, move to
Process.
approve and sign task order number 3, contract amendment to the architectural engineering service contract with AKS Engineering and Forestry for professional engineering services for South Coos River Lane improvements not to exceed $24,715.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion.
So of the 3 conceptual drawings that they come up with, do you know if they're all going to leave the tree intact?
At least one will,
At least one.
at least
Okay.
one will, yeah,
All right.
for sure.
Good to have that option on the table.
Yep. Yeah,
Very
they're
good.
gonna look very closely at that option.
Okay.
Further discussion here, further
You
discussion.
might point out the significance of that tree.
So for those who aren't aware, there's an issue on this section of road on South Coos River Lane. It's too narrow, and there's a dangerous curve. The problem is that on the inside of that curve that needs to be flattened and widened, there is an historic tree that was planted by a forebear of the current owners. I think over 100 years ago. I think it's an oak. Is it an oak or is it a maple?
The walnut.
It's a walnut. That's
walnut
right. And it is an impressive tree, unfortunately placed for improving the road, but maybe it can be done. So we're hoping that can happen. I'm hoping that can happen. Certainly the family is. So that's the backstory.
Okay. Discussion from the floor, online. Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Are you leaving?
I have one late agenda item,
Okay.
Okay.
hoping you'll do
I
that
got.
one.
Is it
I
a
got
late
one
or a
thing
late
to
late?
Then
ask you.
I'll be here for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we find
Late it
that.
is. What do you got?
So we have 3 open positions at the road department for our fleet supervisor, crusher operator, and permit / access specialist. Just requesting the board allows to advertise and fill these 3 positions. Our liaison, Commissioner Sweet, has already approved posting and filling them.
I move we approve the 3 revised job descriptions for the road department.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. From the floor, from the internet. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
We need a
Thank
water
you.
truck. Banner.
Water truck.
A
for the
water
fair.
truck.
Water truck.
For
They
the,
have one.
yeah, it's,
Broke down
it is. So we need one for this weekend.
this weekend. Okay. Let me check on that.
Thank
Which
you.
days?
Well, actually, as soon as possible would be great,
Just through Sunday?
probably. Thank you.
Next one, request approval of sublease with the Coquel Indian Housing Authority for office space. How
Good
you
morning.
doing this morning, Sean?
I'm sorry?
How's it going?
Oh, I'm upright and mobile.
That's
Morning,
something.
Captain.
Present and accounted for.
Nice to see you.
So the building that Sin is currently housed in, it's also up at the Coquille Tribal Housing Area. The Tribal Police Department has expressed a desire to use it again in the future, necessitating us to move to another location. Our tribal partners have generously offered actually probably a better location, bigger space to Sent, and we're just requesting that this be approved by the board.
I move that we approve and sign a business sublease for Cent headquarters to be located at 2616 Mexi Loop in the Coquel Tribal Housing Area.
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion.
It's interesting to me that we're putting the address in a public meeting. I wouldn't think we would want to do that.
I debated, but I think for it to be correct and lawful, that we should.
Okay.
And they provide this at no cost, if I remember.
If you see anybody in the back writing this number down, please let me know.
Let's Jim
I'm
do it.
looking at the people online, and I don't see anyone here doing it.
All righty, discussion from the floor. Online. Anyone want that address repeated more loudly and slowly? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
Thanks,
Next
Captain
one,
Sanborn.
request approval of contract with Helion Software and adopt sole source findings. Morning again.
Good morning.
They're teaming up on us.
Uh-oh.
I'm moving up because I'm next.
This is our annual contract with our software company for assessment and tax collection software.
I move we approve and sign the contract with Helion Software Incorporated for ORCAT's software support services for the year July 1, 2026 through June 30, 2027, and adopt sole source finding.
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion. Discussion from the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next one, request approval of, thank you. Request approval of maintenance agreement with Octave and authorized chair to sign.
Good
Morning,
morning.
Jason.
This is a maintenance agreement, a renewal for GeoMedia and ERDOS software. This is essential mapping software for our cartographers to use. The cost is $11,089.92, which is a 5% increase, which is included. We request the board approve the renewal of the Octave maintenance agreement for 2026-27.
I move we approve renewal of the Octave maintenance agreement for 26-27 fiscal year and authorize chair to sign.
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion. In the floor, online. Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next one.
Thanks, Jason.
Request approval of IGA with City of Coos Bay for regional problem solving and authorized chair to sign. Morning.
Hi, Amy.
Staff is requesting that the Board of Commissioners approve the regional problem-solving agreement between the City of Coos Bay and Coos County. Approval of this agreement will allow the city and county to work collaboratively through the regional problem-solving process authorized by ORS 197.652 through 197.658 to evaluate and correct long-standing inconsistencies between existing development patterns and the current urban growth boundary. The purpose of the agreement is to evaluate urbanized areas surrounding the city, including Charleston, Barview, Bunker Hill, Bay Park, Millington, and adjacent developed lands, to determine whether inclusion within the city of Coos Bay's urban growth boundary is appropriate. Many of these areas are already developed at urban densities but remain outside the acknowledged urban growth boundary, creating regulatory complexity and uncertainty for property owners, service providers, and local governments. Approval of this agreement does not itself amend the urban growth boundary or change any property designations. Rather, it establishes the framework for the city and county to conduct the necessary and analysis, public involvement, and planning processes required to evaluate potential urban growth boundary amendments. Any future boundary changes would be subject to separate public hearings and land use decision. The regional problem-solving process is intended to provide greater certainty for affected property owners regarding the long-term development potential of residential, commercial, and industrial properties while improving coordination of infrastructure, public services, economic development opportunities, and future growth planning within the city of within the Coos Bay area. Accordingly, staff recommends that the Board of Commissioners approve the regional problem-solving agreement and authorize the chair to execute the agreement on behalf of Coos County. And this is actually phase 2. We've came before the board in phase 1 of this project.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the regional problem-solving agreement between Coos County and the city of Coos Bay in substantially the form presented, and authorize the chair to execute the agreement on behalf of Coos County.
I second the motion.
Motion and a second. Discussion.
I'd just like to point out and refresh on the fact that approving measures to address the delineation of urban growth boundaries does not it is not annexation into the city. It can never be annexation into the city. And in fact, rather than restricting the rights of property owners within the affected area, it actually expands those rights, which is why I've consistently favored these actions and will continue to do so, as long as they don't veer into that territory.
And I serve on the local official advisory committee to the LCDC, which is related to the DLCD, which is part of the body that reviews this proposal to expand the urban growth boundary. And then, of course, from my experience on the city council for 8 years, one of the things we would run into would be folks out on Cape Arago or some of these other areas like Bunker Hill asking why city police would never respond to their area. We would have to let them know they're not in the city, which was frustrating for them, frustrating for us. Unfortunately, the UGB expansion would also not include that still, because it is not annexation. However, it does allow for a higher level of development, as you noted, and if property owners want to annex themselves through adjacent property, but it is that property owner's decision. It is not imposed upon them. So, yep, that's that. Discussion from the public? Discussion online? Alrighty, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes, thank you. And next, we have a request approval of resolution to transfer appropriations for personnel expenses. Looks like Colton.
Yeah, this is a request to transfer $14,786 to cover personnel services in our office. We early on in the fiscal year moved to have our HR assistant position moved from a part-time position to a full-time position, and this is basically the balance between those two positions.
Mr. Chair, move to approve and sign Resolution 2606084B.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Discussion from the floor. Online. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next one. Request approval of resolution to transfer appropriations for legal expenses.
Yeah, this is a request to transfer $20,000 to contracted services line item to cover unforeseen and ongoing legal matters.
I move we approve and sign Resolution 2606088B.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. From the floor. From the internet. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. That brought us through that. So now we're looking at the consent calendar.
Move approval of the consent calendar.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Discussion from the floor. Discussion from the online. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. And we have a late agenda item for request approval of oyster lease with Clausen Oysters.
Yeah, this is a new lease agreement with Clausen Oyster. They will continue to lease a number of oyster beds from the county. They actually assigned their longstanding lease agreement with the county over to a separate oyster operator, but they retained about 90 acres of oyster beds, and so we're entering into a new lease for them to continue operating there, and it will run for a 4-year term.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the oyster lease amendment.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion.
That should say agreement, not
Agreement.
amendment.
I read them how I see them.
That's right.
Do you want to change the motion to that?
No, it's fine.
Agreement. All right. Yeah, I for one am very pleased that Clausen is continuing an oyster harvesting operation because they do produce some really delicious oysters. My wife and I love to go there.
Have you ever had the po' boy?
The po' boy have not.
Oh, the oyster po' boy. Pretty good there.
Okay.
All righty. From the floor. From the online. Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. We do have one late agenda item approving a board member for the Coos Library Service District.
I move approving, hearing a late agenda item.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. That item, we had 3 applicants, one general resident of Coquille, one being, I believe, the board chair of the Coquille Library Board, separate from the service district, and one from Powers. I believe she's on their library board. I am forgetting everyone's name, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't have that
Except Sandra.
paperwork with me.
Sandra was the Powers one, I
Sandy,
think.
Kaylee, and
Somewhere
Linda.
I have
There we
that.
go. Linda
Just a
being
minute.
the Coquille board chair for their library board, Kaylee being the citizen in Coquille, and Sandy being a board member of the library and Powers.
Yeah, it'd be good to have the last names.
Oh, I had that. I thought I brought it, but I'm not finding it. Guess I didn't.
Rod's on the run. He's going to get it
Okay.
for us.
Careful, Rod. Can't run into something.
Ocean. Got to wear a safety vest to run like that.
Slower this time, Rod.
A little slower
Just trying
coming
not to
back.
shame you, Sean. But if you want a foot race later, we can do that.
Not good.
Nobody outruns a radio.
Okay, so we had Kaylee Marone, Sandra Stauffer, and Linda Phillips.
Okay. We conducted those interviews yesterday and wanted a little more time to deliberate on who we were going to select. I have settled towards Sandy, I believe, out of Powers.
Okay, and I
Right.
preferred Sandy. So-
Okay.
All right.
And then,
I had been torn between Kaylee and Sandy. It is a rural representative, so I went as far rural as possible. Except
So-
for Dora.
do you want a motion then to approve Sandy?
Yeah, we will need that motion.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you guys are fairly settled on your thoughts there, and those are aligned. I mean, I liked all of our applicants. I thought that Kaylee Marone would be the better choice, because she doesn't have a close affiliation with any one library.
Yeah.
And I believe could be more objective in matters concerning fiscal distributions. But, that is my opinion. That would be my preference. But one does a majority not make. So,
Yeah. I had considered that myself quite a bit. I think one of the challenges is if I knew a majority of the board was non-partial, I think it would be effective, but we do have contest between multiple areas that are heavily invested, and I think the invested voice out of Powers is a better counterbalance, is my perspective. We did have, did we have a motion?
no.
No.
Yep.
What's Sandy's last name?
Stauffer?
I move we select Sandy Stauffer as the appointed member of the library board.
And I will second. Discussion from the floor. Discussion online. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion passes. That was the late agenda item. That takes us to commissioner reports. I think I picked on you last time, Rod. So, John?
Couple of things. I had received an email, which was a news release by Oregon Parks and Recreation Department. This was forwarded to me from Bandon, and the Bandon Cranberry Festival has been designated an Oregon Heritage Tradition as it approaches its 80th year with an Oregon Heritage. This will be its 80th year. It is the 30th event in Oregon to be designated an Oregon Heritage Tradition. The designation recognizes those traditions that have been going on for 50 years or more, add to the livability and identity of the state, and has a public profile that distinguishes it from other events, said Katie Henry, Oregon Heritage Commission coordinator. So the Oregon Heritage Commission is part of the Oregon Parks and Recreation Department, and this is one of the, they select not only heritage events, but also heritage buildings and ground. So anyway, just thought this was very nice that this happened to us, and I guess it is unique because not too many other places besides Coos County in Oregon grow cranberries. Second thing, although I'm assuming there's going to be some resistance coming up later today, I want to give a report on the bike trail campsite. Ground has been broken, and we're moving ahead with construction of that site. We have a $280,000 grant from Oregon Parks and Recreation to assist with the building of the campsite. We're trying to do it without use of county funds. And then last, I attended an event Saturday evening, a roast of our sheriff, Gabe, and it was a very popular event, well attended, and everyone had a hard time saying anything mean about Gabe, so it turned into more of a toast than a roast, and as it should have been, I think. That's all I have.
Nobody came up with any roasts to fillet at you, since there was limited opportunity with Gabe.
Oh,
guess.
I got off pretty easy.
Yeah, good. All right, that's great.
Now, Sean, a little different. He
A little different.
well, he roasted.
It may come as a surprise, but me being short and fat is funny.
Good to know.
All right. So in the last couple of weeks, we had, one thing that we got done was good down at the fairgrounds. We got a new livestock wash station poured, the slab for that poured, and that was great. It's wonderful to see the fairgrounds continuing to improve in readiness for the fair upcoming in just over a month. And about 5 weeks, I guess we've got till the fair. That's amazing. We also have been, so that the public is aware, we've been interviewing for the position for a new director for Coos Health and Wellness. And we've completed 4 of those interviews, the preliminary interviews. We've got 1 more to go, and from that we'll decide who our finalist candidates are for face-to-face personal interviews. So it's good to be moving that along. This week, a couple of days, I'll be attending the Association of O&C Counties quarterly meeting over in Medford, and we'll get an update on the harvest levels and what we can anticipate out of the O&C lands in the coming year. We'll have an update from the regional director of BLM. So that, I'm very much looking forward to that. I know you guys are as well looking forward to hearing that update. And non-county business got up to the Olympic Peninsula late last week, and that was really beautiful. Nicole had never seen Port Angeles or Forks, and so now she's a veteran of the Hoh Rainforest. That was neat. And that's about all I've got.
Yeah. As mentioned, Coos Health and Wellness Director, we've been going through interviews, filtering, and screening applicants. We came in with 46 at the start. Then it was 19. HR helped us out filtering, and then we're down to 5, and 4 interviews yesterday. Next interview is Thursday, and then we'll have more information sometime after that. Other things going on. Was able to attend Free Fish Day out in Lakeside last weekend. Appreciate they recognized my grandpa. He was highly involved with that program. The jail, we had Energy Trust of Oregon come out. We did a walkthrough of the jail. They've come up with some ideas on where energy efficiency could be achieved, and they're going to look at how they can help fund those things and offset the costs of some necessary repairs. So that'll help us do more with their money, which it's actually ratepayer money coming back to our community that would have otherwise been spent somewhere else. So that is good for us. I believe it's this weekend, the Tour de France is happening out in
Yes.
Powers.
Mhm.
Gabe and I went out to Powers last week and visited with their city manager, mayor, and some of their personnel who are involved in those events. Tour de France has 280 bicycles registered right now, not counting the people that will just show up. So that is a lot of participants and a lot of tourism for Powers. And then they have a car show sometime after that, in the weeks after that, already has, I believe, 50 cars registered. So those are good events to watch for out that way. Was able to participate in the patent project. That was a project I was at a few weeks ago. Bunch of vets got together. It is established by the grandson of General Patton. And it's a way of, they teach us about filmmaking. We talk through how we're going to make a story, and in the process of that, folks really opened up about their experience, and it opens doors for them to get additional help they might need through a different avenue than usual. And because it involves a short time frame objective, I think that's why it was so effective for vets. And we made some short films that were screened at the Egyptian last week, so I was able to be at that. Lakeside just completed its cleanup of the U.S. Forest Service land out near the cemetery. It has taken years for them to get authorization to do that from the U.S. Forest Service. U.S. Forest Service was supposed to help with it about 2 years ago. They never did, and didn't authorize it at the time. But since that point in time, I believe it was months ago, we went out with a few deputies, members of the city council, the mayor, and some other folks from the Lakeside community. And in in the coastal blunt approach, our codes asked if he thinks the commission would be on board with sending citations to the federal government for not keeping the waterway clean. And I told him, I imagine we would probably be in favor. I went out on a limb and thought, well, we'd probably talk to the feds in the state about it. So that word got around to U.S. Forest Service, and they decided to let Lakeside do a cleanup and take care of what the U.S. Forest Service should be doing and paying for. But they were able to get something done at least. And other than that, not too much. Coos County is #1 for cranberries in Oregon, and Oregon is #3 in the nation. So we're, we do make a lot of cranberries.
Massachusetts and Wisconsin?
Wisconsin, we must move ahead of New Jersey then.
Well, it was last time I looked at the numbers. Forget about New Jersey. We're third. We're going for first.
Ooh,
Yep.
that'd be a
And-
challenge.
Yeah,
Better improve that market a little bit.
fair enough. Or we just take their market. I mean, I'm not opposed to takeovers.
Tough margins in cranberries.
And, yep, that'll cut it for me. And that takes us to citizen comments. We had Jay, and I think he was only here to answer questions for one of our agenda items. I believe he left. So that takes us to James. Yep. And it is 3 minutes. Philosophy, if it takes much longer than that, we might need a work session.
Aloha.
Jim Bennett, Bandon, morning.
Good looking shirt.
I'm sorry.
Good looking shirt.
Oh, thank you. Bought it brand new this time.
Years ago?
Yeah. So, look, John, I'm not gonna lie. You kind of lied to me. You said that there was going to be public input from the neighbors, and a bona fide effort was not made to set that forth. In fact, I think the record will show that you purchased the property before you even got any input from the public. From what I can see, the county code requires a traffic plan. And so at this time, I'd like to request to see that. And I trust that you could email that to me, John.
I trust that you will talk to planning and ask them for that.
Okay, so let the record show that you're spearheading a project and I'm asking for the traffic plan and you're referring me to the planning
Yes, I
department.
am.
Okay. And I don't know how the roadmaster could possibly approve something like that. There's not even any shoulders on the road. And as I've said exhaustively, using this consensus process like you did for this project is not constitutional in redundancy. There's a half a dozen passages that I've given to you in notice that forbid using the consensus process in place of our voice. One of the passages, 183.5 or something, says that you can't use the consensus process when other laws exist, and other laws exist. So, and also I believe that the law requires you to send out an account of what's going on when local residents have brought up traffic concerns. And I'd like to know, how long are people allowed to stay? Is it a 2-night maximum thing or what?
I have to get planning too. Amy, do you know the answer to that question?
Okay.
It's short term.
That's what,
It's like our parks. It's a week or less. I can't remember for sure.
okay.
But
And
it's
what
not-
means did you use to contact the public regarding this project after my,
Amy, do you want to talk?
After
you wanna come
we've-
forward, and I'm going to ask planning to address that. Planning did that.
hi,
And
can you
please tell.
send me the traffic study associated with the,
I can send you the report and whatever we have on file.
okay.
For a conditional use application, or even a hearings body conditional use application, we have notification areas. So for a conditional use, actually, since it doesn't go before the Board of Commissioners, Resource Land has a larger buffer. So it's 750 feet. The properties around the property that this campground is going to be sited on are larger properties. So there wasn't very many properties within that 750 feet. However, we were requested to add you to that mailing list, which we did. So the notification of decision would have went out to you at the address listed in Helion, which would be the address that your property taxes are sent to.
Helion?
Yes, it's our internal software, but it's
Well,
whatever.
I've been paying attention to the project and I never received anything in the
We
mail.
didn't get yours back, so that was our process and our,
What time of day was this?
what do you mean?
I mean, was
We
it,
mailed it, so.
no, but what time of day was the hearing?
There wasn't a hearing. This one did not require a hearing. A private or public campground within forest does not require a hearing. It's a conditional use application.
Okay. Well, I would ask, for what you have as far as a traffic study goes. I wouldn't think you'd need a traffic study to see that it's inherently a very unsafe street. You come around blind turns and you'll see people on their phone in the middle of the road. Not happy. Spraying all kinds of glyphosate up the hill. Thank you. And I'll bring you my email address. Thank you. It's not right. And then we're going to have more bike traffic on a very unsafe road already. You didn't make a bona fide effort to contact the residents that use that as an artery to connect with 101. Dump trucks, clueless tourists with trailers, people lost, headed to Bandon Dunes, no clue. Just not a smart move, and we're very much in objection to it. And why you think you can continue to use the consensus process after my exhaustively notifying you of its unconstitutionality.
Jim, if we can wrap up. I paused it when you were getting answers. So,
Yeah, but
yeah.
it's against a representative republic. You're using these groups, that most of which are not from the area, to make impactful decisions that impact your constituents. It's not right.
Thank you. And do we have any further comments from the public? Yes, sir. If you can come up, introduce yourself, roughly where you reside. You don't have to give us your exact address. and it'll be 3 minutes.
Okay, name's Tim Pierce, and I roughly reside in Bandon out on Seven Devils Road for the last 40-plus years. Just a little follow-up on Mr. Bennett's thing there. I get up early, like 3:30 in the morning. It's kind of interesting. I go outside because I got a cat that likes to go on patrol just across the front of my house. She never leaves the cement. I won't get into that part. But what is amazing is the traffic that's out there at that morning, all going to Bandon Dunes. We're talking about trucks hauling soda pop, beer, and everything else, all kinds of employees that either go down Seven Devils and turn down Whiskey Run or come down Whiskey Run and go down there. Mr. Bennett lives right on the corner. I'm sure he appreciates all that. But, you know, I don't think people really realize how much traffic goes on there at all hours, is what I'm trying to point out to on that. But what I had a couple of things on my brain here that I wanted to ask the commissioners individually, perhaps. Have any one of you ever entered into a non-disclosure agreement with either a government or non-government entity?
Yes.
Who?
Orca.
Who?
Oregon Coast Community Action.
Ah.
I was their prior director, and when I left, I signed an NDA.
I thought we had open government.
When it pertains to lawsuits, there are restrictions.
Nevertheless, we do have open government, you know, and I just don't really think that's kind of correct. Anybody else here? How about you, Commissioner Taylor? You ever entered into a non-disclosure? How about you, Commissioner Sweet?
This is a chance for public comment. It's not necessarily, time to ask questions.
Oh,
So
because my
you
next
can-
question was to you.
Yeah, so public comment functions by
okay,
directing your comments to the chair of the board. And-
There you go. Well, because my next comment was going to be about our county lawyer here, whether he majored in criminal law or in civil law. I mean, he probably doesn't want to answer that.
Could we send Tim the ORS around executive session? That might be helpful.
Because you see, the problem is he's probably majored in civil law, I would assume, and rather than criminal law. Well, criminal law is actually constitutional law, and you guys all swore to uphold the Constitution right out of the package, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. And you might have a hammer where you need a screwdriver, or a screwdriver where you need a hammer when it comes to the attorney. I'm not saying he's a good attorney or bad attorney. I'm just saying he might be the wrong attorney.
Are you suggesting we should have a criminal attorney?
No, a constitutional law attorney.
Ah.
Because a lot of times what you guys do, I really question. Some people think I'm an ultra right-winger. I am not. I'm a dead centrist. I believe in nothing but the Constitution. Anything outside of it, as far as I'm concerned, is either illegal or just simply null and void. Now, I guess I got all my answers.
Well, you didn't, we can generate an email to Mr. Sweet regarding your non-disclosure question.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, he didn't want to do that. I noticed. Odd. Open government.
We're here to listen. We're not here to argue or
Well, it wasn't
exchange
an argument, it was
ideas.
just answering a
If
simple
you want to come
question.
in, come in and visit with me. Not wasting public's time or our staff's time on stuff like this.
Well put.
All right. Further questions from the room? From online, any?
Nothing.
Nothing online. That takes us to the end. Meeting adjourned. Have you ever signed an NDA?
Absolutely never.
Okay.